Well, first of all, we have to understand what is at stake today. What is at stake? It's Israel's sovereignty over Jerusalem and Israel's liberty of maneuver, doing whatever it wants as a sovereign country and in its sovereign capital. So this is the most explosive date that we are encountering today. We had in the last 2 months lots of commemoration and memorial days from the Ramadan, end of the Ramadan, Memorial Day, and so on. But this is certainly the most explosive because this is the expression of the struggle over Jerusalem between us and the Hamas. Hamas is trying to kidnap Jerusalem and to put himself as the sole interlocutor facing Israel and limiting Israel. So now the clash is certainly in Hamas' interest is to incite the population, the Palestinians inside the territories and inside Israel, and certainly to limit all the activities inside this perimeter and not to overflow to Gaza. Whereas the other Palestinian factions are interested in hitchhiking the situation and going forward, such as the Islamic Jihad. So finally, in assessing the pros and the cons, the likelihood of a confrontation today are very high, and certainly, I mean, if the fake news will circulate concerning what's going on in Jerusalem and Ben Gvir and others, so this would be like the match that will light up the whole fire. And expect not only missiles from Gaza but also from Lebanon, because Hamas has also an arsenal in Lebanon.
When you say expect, do you think that's a likely possibility? Because we have seen how Hamas have changed their tactics a little bit by trying to sort of incite all kinds of activities in the West Bank, in Jerusalem, without getting directly involved and risking an Israeli response.
Well, Israel has warned and threatened that even a missile fired at a wild place, not on a civilian target, will be responded very harshly. If Islamic Jihad will certainly try to express itself by sending a message to Israel through a missile strike, so Israel will respond, and definitely we are here in front of a confrontation between us and Hamas. The likelihood, as I said, is very high. Even though, I mean, on the risk level, we are on a very high level, but certainly still, I mean, there are partners, there are factors that are trying to limit the damage, such as the Egyptians, the Jordanians, and certainly other and the Qataris. So, at the end of the day, all depends on what will happen in Jerusalem and what will happen with the fake news that will circulate following the clashes in Jerusalem.
So that means you think there will be clashes in Jerusalem for sure?
Well, definitely we see that. Luckily, till now the police has limited the entrance of Palestinians, of young Palestinians, and they are very wisely closed the mosque with chains, so there are all those who are inside cannot go outside. But this is only the beginning. We are only at 9 o'clock in the morning, and the day is very long today.
Certainly is a very long day ahead. It should be noted also that last year this march was rerouted at the advice of the security establishment, the security and intelligence establishment, and this year it wasn't. They gave a different assessment. What do you make of that?
As I said, I mean, what is at stake today is Israel's sovereignty in Jerusalem. And last year was a wrong decision because even though the march was diverted, the missiles just landed in Jerusalem. So it was just a proof of weakness. This year, the government has no other choice but to stick to this march and to this itinerary. And as so, this is a way to prove to Hamas and all other factions that Israel is the one that rules on the Temple Mount.
All right. Retired Colonel Dr. Jacques Neriah, former Deputy Head of Assessment at Israeli Military Intelligence. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.